Hey guys, so this is the second time I'm recording this video because the first time I spilt water all over everything. Yay. I want to talk about this. And as I'm sure the title says, I more want to talk about how to fix one of these if you get a broken one. Because this is the fifth time I've gotten one that is supposed to pee and doesn't. I have already recorded this video, like I said, I've tried once already, so I'm not going to puncture any holes into this now. But if your child finishes unpacking it, brings it to you and goes, it doesn't drink the water. I tried this thingy and it doesn't take the water in. There are two options of what's going on. Thing one could be that the bottle itself isn't taking in water, in which case you would take a needle. In this case, or in most cases when I deal with these issues, I just take a basic sewing needle and you just shove it in where the hole should be until it hits the bottom of the cup, and then you pull it back out. That way you know that it's been punctured all the way through and it should take in some water. I've only ever had the bottle issues on criers. I've never gotten anything else that's had a bottle issue. But when they're the crying ones, for some weird reason, the bottle's always locked. And it's usually not locked right at the tip, but it's usually locked like inside the tip. So you can see where the hole was supposed to be punched and just didn't. Don't know how it happens, but I've had that happen. The next problem might be your doll. I haven't tried this with spitters, and I have not tried this with criers. I've only ever had the issue of it not working when the doll was supposed to pee. I'm assuming you could use the same trick, though, if it was a crier or a spitter. But what you have to do is you have to pop the head off of it, which is sad, but true. And if you see this tube, it's a peer. Which means you're going to need to do some messing with the head. My bird is being loud, and I'm so sorry. When it comes down to this part, you're checking to see if the clog is in the mouth. Which means you have to see, one, does it fill up when you just stick it in the water? Let me see if I can get an angle where it actually shows the water. Nope. There we go. You stick it in the water, you see if it bubbles. You see if it squirts out. I do still have water lodged in it from the last time I tried. And from when I actually fixed it, which was the time before that. But because it spits out the bottom and not out of the mouth, I can say that the mechanism inside of it should have worked. I can say that for sure something will push it out that way. Which means your clog is either in this tube or your clog is the mouth. Well, again, you fill up the head, tilt it, force in the bottom, and squeeze. If you get liquid like I just did, then the issue is not the tube. So the issue has now been decided. It's not this, and it's not this. Which means my issue would have... The head just holds water. These things are just a breeding ground for bacteria. But you get the head. You've now realized it's not this hole. It's not the tube. That means it has to be the mouth. So you take that needle. whatever needle you would have picked up for the bottle, you take the same needle and you puncture the mouth with it. And you do have to wiggle it in the mouth because there is a weird designed track to make it so it doesn't just spit it right back up. And then eventually you'll see it come through the bottom. I'm not even sure if I'm going to be able to get an angle to where this will show it, but there is a little silver bit in there. That's the needle coming through the bottom. That's all you need. It's all the space you need. I did manage to get it further through the first time I did it, but that's all you should need. Then, I was about to skip a step. You test it. I mean, it's really just a trial and error type deal. You just continue to try and fill the mouth, and you will notice a difference. Like, the first time you would have tried to fill the mouth, you probably got it to where the bottle wouldn't squeeze at all. As you make a way for it to go, the bottle will start to squeeze. You start to be able to make headway with it, and then it'll squirt out the bottom. So it should work. And of course, then, once you've gotten it finally squirt out the bottom, pop it all back together. The head really should just pop right off and pop from the hole, and then pop right back on. You shouldn't have to struggle too much with it. If you do find yourself feeling like you're struggling, stop. The LOL dolls are known for having joints and stuff that stick. And if you feel like you're struggling with the head, it's because you are. It's because it's locked in, there's glue holding it in, you're not getting it off. And it's usually the reason why it doesn't work. They will just take it in something, or they didn't tear it apart properly or something, and it's jammed. You'll never get it to work, no matter how much you shove a needle in it. Though, you could always try. Even when the head's on and unmovable, same thing. Just take the needle, shove it through, hope that it wasn't a pier. Because if you shove it through on a pier, you might damage the neck piece. That plastic bit, you could actually damage this by shoving it too harsh through. If it's in. So, maybe do research on the one you pick up and make sure that it's not a pier if the head's stuck. But then, when all's said and done, if you were able to do anything with it, you should just be able to, well, let me make sure that the bottle actually fills. You should just be able to pop the bottle in. I tend to lean mine back when I do it because I have bad habits of having, or a bad history of having them leak everywhere when they're not tilted back. And then you should just be able to squeeze it and it'll do its thing. I somehow got like no water in it, which is also possible. You could have done exactly what I said and still have an issue with it taking in enough water to do the action, because it doesn't have the proper sized hole. The hole into the thing should probably be closer to the size of its actual mouth. And we're just using a basic sewing needle or a basic cross-stitch needle. Or maybe even a rug needle. Like, they're not very big items because you don't want to break it. And you don't want it to pour out the neck. So, if it still doesn't work, just maybe go in with the same needle you used before and try and wiggle around in it. It should work. You should be able to get it back. Then hand it back to your kid, put back together, because you don't want to traumatize them, and let them play. And then, when you start to smell something weird coming out of it, ask them to throw it out. Alright. Talk to you guys later. Bye.